Tired of searching the Dam Battlegrounds for a decent gun only to get wiped by a player who's already dripping in top tier gear? Yeah, look, we've all been there. This guide is the answer though. I'm going to walk you through the potential locations for every weapon crate on this map so you can gear up fast and start running the lobbies. We'll cover everything from the high traffic slaughterhouses to the secret low key spots nobody really ever checks. Now, I've sunk loads of hours into this map learning every potential crate spawn, every valuable container, and the safest ways to get from A to B. This isn't about getting lucky anymore, it's about having a plan, and by the end of this video you'll have the knowledge to turn those frustrating loot runs into dominant high tier loot games. Now, if I'm being honest guys, you can just skip like an extra 30 seconds ahead if you don't want to listen to this, but I was a little bit unsure as to how I wanted to make this video. So, this one, I will just lay out all the locations and then we will quickly go over some efficient routes or routes, whatever you want to say, for solo players who just want to keep to themselves, and then the risky high loot runs where you're bound to run into some trouble along the way. I do also want to mention that not all the clips I will show have the weapon cases in them. As you can imagine, it is insanely time consuming to find a couple of crates, let alone all like 30 something of them, so please keep that in mind, but rest assured, these are dedicated spawns. I'm not just sending you to random spots for shits and giggles. But anyways, enough messing about, let's get into this. Alrighty, let's kick things off with what I like to call the no risk riches route. This is perfect if you're dropping solo, still learning the map, or you just want a solid loadout without really fighting off half the server. So we're heading to the big swampy region in the southwest. Player traffic here is always on the lower, or like the lower side, rather than the center of the map naturally, and the loot is surprisingly consistent. Now, the one thing I will say, I'm just using the south swamp outpost as a starting point, like a reference point. You guys don't have to start there. You can start from whichever spawn like you're closest to. Like if you spawn up straight up north, you can do this backwards. If you kind of spawn in the middle, I guess you can go one way and then work your way back. It's really up to you guys. It really is dependent on the spawn. So if you do spawn in the north, you can do the whole thing. If you do spawn in the what's the other one? Never entertain sexy women. If you do spawn in the west, you can do it in the west. But yeah, if you spawn anywhere else, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but it's fine. We'll go over there, we'll make some maps, we'll be fine. But anyways, let's jump into this. So, the first stop is the South Swamp Outpost, like I just mentioned. Think of this as a safer, chiller alternative to the chaos of the control tower. Now, from here we move to the water towers behind the electrical substation, where they are actually waiting for you on top of the towers. They can spawn on the two taller towers, but you will need a zip line to reach them. That is the only, stipulation. That's the only thing you will need. Now, from here, though, we continue east till we hit a hill with the building on top of it. It is an unnamed building, but there will be another crate waiting up there, or a potential spawn for you guys. And then from here, we run down the hill east to some random bushes. Now, personally, I've never had it spawn, but I have seen dedicated pictures of this area, of this spawn, so it is a location. Hopefully, you're luckier than me. And then from this position, you now have to run all the way east to the top of the Raider outpost atop the hill, where, well, potentially two crates can actually spawn in if you're lucky. From this location, though, you will now have to run northeast for a little while till you hit the small camp where a weapon crate, well, spawns on the back of a truck. And then we head all the way north to the Red Lakes, where a half-sunken building can potentially have a crate for you. After this, you have another long-ass walk ahead of you, or run depending, till you reach the northernmost part of the map, up near the East Broken Ridge, where inside you see the destroyed highway bridge. You can find yet another hidden chest inside. Now, from here, it's your call. You can either call it quits, or you can head into the nearby electrical substation, where yet another crate can be potentially waiting for you inside the complex. But this will obviously do it for our solo crate route. This is by far the safest route I've taken when in-game going for these weapon crates. Now, don't get me wrong, there are potentially 11 or so weapon crate spawns along this route, but let's be real, you might only see a couple, or you might see the majority of them. It's all just luck, so please do keep this in mind. Lastly, and I wouldn't even call this a route or a route, whatever you want to call it, but if you're willing to die for some goated loot, I would personally just run directly to the hydroponic dome complex. And yes, I understand there is only a potential of 3 crate spawns here, but by the time you've looted all the containers and the weapon crates, you will be absolutely stacked and ready to leave anyways. So it's probably my favorite run to do on this map, if I'm being honest. It takes a couple of minutes if you get a goated spawn, and if done correctly, and the loot potential is absolutely bonkers, so 110% worth trying out in my opinion, guys. So that is the grand tour, a complete rundown of the best weapon crate locations on the Dam Battlegrounds map. You now have the map knowledge to gear up fast and start taking over. You know the routes, you know the hot zones, and you know the secret spots that will give you an almighty edge. So, if this guide helped you out, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next one. And be sure to let me know in the comments below what the best weapon you've found using these routes is. I'm always curious to see what you guys find. Now get out there, Raider, and get that loot.